All right, so the most unsurprising news in video game history has dropped today, but also kind of some of the biggest news because it's regarding probably the most anticipated game in the history of video games. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed to May 2026, specifically May 26th, 2026. So that actually, I will say, is somewhat shocking how far it's been delayed, like literally being delayed an entire year. That I couldn't necessarily say I would have expected that. Whenever Grand Theft Auto 6 was first announced, I remember immediately being like, yeah, well, it'll get pushed. Whenever they said it was going to come out in 2025, I was like, well, it'll get pushed to 2026, just like all of Rockstar's other games. GTA 4 was delayed, GTA 5 was delayed, I believe San Andreas was delayed. I know for a fact Red Dead 1 and 2 were delayed. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know. I mean, we ain't got to go all the way back into the PS2 days. I don't know if Bully was delayed. I don't remember if like the Warriors was delayed or whatever, but they delay the shit out of their games. And also, like, let's take a step back for a second. I understand being somewhat disappointed if you're really looking forward to GTA 6, but they're not going to cyberpunk it. You know what I mean? We're not going to have a cyberpunk situation, and I think this kind of shows that. They're not going to launch this game in a dog shit state and sell it for fucking $70. Well, that's a whole different thing, which we'll get to in a second. But they're not going to sell this game to you in a completely broken dog shit state. So I'm not overly bummed out by this delay. Sure, would I have liked to play it in 2025? Absolutely. I would have loved to have played it in 2025. But I would rather play it when it's finished, when it's polished, when we're not running into game-breaking bugs, when we're not having our progress halted, when we're not having those issues. Do I think the online's going to be busted at launch? Absolutely. If it even launches at launch. I think the online might be 3-4 months down the road. But I don't give a fuck about that. And once again, this is purely from a selfish standpoint. I don't care at all about online, so they can break that how many other... they can leave that shit broken for all I care. But obviously, that's where all the money is made. They're going to massively, massively prioritize that. But this single-player campaign, I do think, is going to be polished as shit out the gate. I think when this game comes out, the single-player campaign is going to be rock solid. I think the game is probably finished at this point. They're polishing, bug fixing, and it's a humongous game with crazy levels of interactivity. So taking a year to polish that doesn't shock me for a game of this scale. So I'm not too bummed out by the 2026 push. Like I said, shocked by how fucking far it's being pushed. And I guess that can get into our when we were discussing price there, it's that kind of worries me because we're already seeing the standard $80 game become a thing with Microsoft following Nintendo's footsteps and pushing for a lot of their games to become $80 games this holiday season. And my big hope, I know this is such fucking optimistic horseshit, where I was like, yeah, man, let's GTA 6 can come out holiday 2025 while all these other games are launching for $80 that cost a quarter of what it cost GTA 6 to be developed. And if GTA 6 launches at $70, then maybe that can course correct the industry back to $70. That's not going to fucking happen, especially with it coming out in May of 2026. I think the most likely scenario, I mean, you got to keep in mind, Take-Two was the company that really pushed the envelope. I believe they were the first company to release a $70 game. So, I mean, are they going to be the first company to drop a $100 game? I mean, what is the standard price even going to be in May 2026? We've had the fucking, the standard leap $20 in one console generation. You know what I mean? Like, 70 or 60, it started off. And then we pushed to 70, and now we're pushing to 80. So it's like, oh boy, if this thing gets delayed to 2027, we're talking $90, $100 games. With the way that we're being fucking gouged here. So I don't know. I mean, I would hope that it's $70, but I feel like at bare minimum going to be an $80 game. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. But I guess on one positive note, I'm glad that they announced the delay when they announced the delay. I was really worried that Take-Two were gonna do their snobby fucking keeping everybody on their toes, and they would all know internally that it's going to be delayed, but they wouldn't let the public know, and then that would fuck up all the other publishers, all the other AAA publishers' release plans and marketing plans and all that, because everyone was avoiding Grand Theft Auto 6. Everyone. All the AAA publishers. Everyone but fucking Devolver Digital, which they're not a AAA publisher, but I remember they said something about, we're going to release our next game on the exact day as Grand Theft Auto 6. And there are cute little marketing things you can do like that if you're an indie company, and like you aren't necessarily going to be totally hit by the blast radius. But the big AAA publishers, they got to avoid Grand Theft Auto 6. And I'm glad that they announced the delay to this release date in May to give another, 6-7 month window there for publishers to be able to they can actually react with some time and with some sort of marketing plan for, okay, now I think we're going to see the floodgates open probably pretty fucking soon, with a lot of big games getting their official release date for holiday 2025, because everybody was trying to avoid holiday 2025. So yeah, I think holiday 2025 is about to really start building out. And that's the thing too. 2025 already has been way too stacked. It's been one of the craziest years in video game history, and just in terms of the quality and quantity of big like tentpole game releases. So I think 2026 will likely be much quieter. Kind of, we had 2023 with your Baldur's Gate 3 and your Tears of the Kingdoms and your just on and on. 2023 was loaded with humongous 100+ hour epic, just fucking top tier, all time, like game of the generation contender style games. It was loaded. And then 2024 was much, much quieter. And then we see 2025, all-time game of the generation contenders, and hopefully 2026 will be much quieter, and these publishers can get the fuck out of the way of Grand Theft Auto 6. It can have that, everybody can sink their 200+ hours into it for a few months, and then we can have a year that is pretty much solely focused on GTA 6, which we know that won't be the case. But you get what I'm saying. I'm saying just a slightly quieter year across the board will probably benefit everybody. Will probably benefit all the publishers out there trying to compete for your time, your attention, your money. If we have a slightly quieter 2026, at least from it needs to be quiet from like May to probably May to September or so, and then maybe people will be finished playing Grand Theft Auto 6 by September, and you can release your other games from October to December, which that's a scary proposition in and of itself. But yeah, I wonder, Ghost of Yotai got its October release date a few days ago, and that was kind of the first sign to me that Sony would probably be the company, if any company outside of Take-Two had information about GTA 6's delay, it would probably be Sony. Because I was thinking, there's no way they're gonna launch Yotai in October and Grand Theft Auto 6 in fucking, if Grand Theft Auto 6 launches in November, because that's what a lot of people were speculating. I was like, dude, that's gonna kill Yotai. Even if it is only a 30-hour game, people are just going to save their money for GTA 6. And I was like, that was the first sign to me. I was like, ooh, maybe Sony has some information that we're not privy to yet. And this would make a lot of sense, in my opinion, that Sony knew GTA 6 was about to get pushed, so they were confident in launching in October. So, yeah, I mean, listen, we could sit here and sure, there's a level of disappointment with this. I would love to play Grand Theft Auto 6 in 2025, but the plate is already just flowing over with super, super high quality games, super good games dropping week in, week out. It's there's too much to eat. So yeah, man, I mean, there's not really a lot else to say. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed May 26th, 2026. So I guess let the waiting games begin again.